A roundup of the latest news now. Here are our top stories. In a surprise Christmas message, King Charles has announced that he is converting to Islam. We'll have the King's speech in full. YouTube celebrity Jake Paul has challenged David Attenborough to a boxing match. A wet towel from Poundland has prevailed in a charisma competition with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. And Santa has his visa application to enter Gaza rejected. We'll be hearing from an Israeli army spokesperson and the man himself. More on those top stories to come. First to the UK, where a wet towel from Poundland has won a charisma competition with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer by some margin. Voting in the competition was open to UK residents. Here's an excerpt from the damp hand flannels victory speech. YouTube celebrity Jake Paul has challenged British natural historian and broadcaster Sir David Attenborough, aged 98, to a boxing match, with the fight set to take place in March next year. Both men attended a press conference to promote the fight in London earlier this week. I'm joined in the studio by both Mr. Paul and Sir David Attenborough. Thank you for joining me this evening. Jake, let's hear from you first. What made you challenge a man 71 years your senior?
Well, I just wanted to prove a lot of the haters wrong. People doubted me when I faced Mike Tyson. I showed that I could beat an ex-pro. Sir David is a man with a colossal reputation, and he's going to be real hard to beat.
You've been accused of using your fame to scam young people with your Edfluence website a few years ago, among other alleged online scams. How do you respond to these allegations?
No comment. Speak to my legal team.
So David, why did you accept the challenge?
Hello, Bob. Well, I've been doing wildlife documentaries for decades, and I thought it might be time for something different. Besides, unless you're Gary Lineker, BBC salaries are nothing to write home about. Having said that, sharing a boxing ring with Jake will be little different to spending time with the guerrillas of Uganda, except, of course, for the latter's vast intellectual superiority. Like my time with the guerrillas, fighting Jake will expose me to a risk of immediate death. But I'm on death's door anyway, and I've had a great innings. I thought I'd use the occasion as an opportunity to draw public attention to environmental issues, which, judging from the vacuousness of Mr. Paul and his followers, is sorely needed.
Jake, what do you say to that?
You mean when Sir David said about vacuum cleaners? Not really my specialty.
Sir David, fight predictions?
I'll be knocking Jake out in round 9.
Really? You seem very confident.
I've actually pre-agreed with Jake that he'll let me knock him out in round 9 because our PR teams consider that outcome to be an optimal profile raiser for both sides. He'll come across as respectful of the elderly and merciful, and I'll come across as surprisingly sprightly. Damn it, David, we're supposed to keep that quiet, man.
We'll have to leave it there. So David, Jake, thank you very much indeed. Santa has been denied an entry permit into Gaza for the second year running. I spoke to Israeli Army spokesperson Ofek Anuzi and Santa himself. Ofek, Santa, thanks for joining me. Ofek, let's start with you. Why has Israel denied Santa a Gaza entry permit for the second year running?
Well, you see, his flying sleigh and reindeer confuse our Iron Dome technology, and we would like to avoid any kind of injury to Santa or his reindeer. Our international reputation is already at rock bottom. We cannot afford a Santa fatality. Besides, if the Israeli army cannot search the parcels that he's carrying to see what's inside them, this is a security risk.
So how is he supposed to deliver presents to the children of Gaza?
Very simple. He can use the land border like the rest of us. Of course, at the moment, no one is allowed in or out, but when we reopen access, and if he can obtain the correct permit, he will be allowed in. Santa, what do you make of Ofek's comments?
Ho, 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 ho. A load of claptrap. I spent hours queuing behind aid lorries in Rafah, only to be turned back by the Israelis, who suspected me of being a terrorist, perhaps due to my beard, all while the children of Gaza not only miss out on presents, but many of them are sadly missing out on survival. Israel is the antithesis of Christmas, whereas Christmas should be a time of reflection, celebration, abundance. For the Palestinians of Gaza, it is a time of great stress, mourning, and homelessness. I shall be defying Israel's ban. I will find my way to those children, because good must prevail over evil.
King Charles has announced his conversion to Islam to coincide with Christmas. In a heartfelt speech, the king spoke about his struggles with prostate cancer and appealed for peace in the Middle East.
Christmas is a time for solace, solemnity, and solidarity. It's been a very difficult year at Clarence House. First me, then Kate, the bloody nightmare, and Annus Horribilis, as my mother used to say. Or perhaps more appropriately in my case, Oedicus Horribilis. For it is incumbent upon one to maintain one's humour in times of strife. Martin Luther King once said, "It is cheerful to God when you rejoice or laugh from the bottom of your heart." And it is in that spirit that I have tried my utmost to maintain levity in such dark times. But it is not God whom I thank or seek to cheer. It is in fact Allah. Allah has been with me throughout this arduous journey and has sent me his barakat, blessings in Arabic, when I've struggled with poor health. His strength has guided me, supported me, strengthened me. And while I realize that this may take many of you by surprise, I converted to Islam in early September. I didn't want to make the news public until the time was right. I've also today changed my name to Mohammed and shall henceforth be known as King Mohammed. I realize that this may create upheaval at the Royal Mint, but it is basically my Royal Mint, so they can just bloody well get on with it. I am, of course, not to be confused with the other King Mohammed, the little upstart running that desert kingdom. I hope that the dark days of 2024, for me personally, and the royal family as a whole, will be replaced with healthier, more prosperous times for us all. I also pray for an end to the suffering of those enduring conflict in Gaza, Ukraine, Sudan, Myanmar, and elsewhere. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bestow peace, mercy, and blessings upon you.